Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The Ministry of Finance and Planning has said that all salaries for government employees were processed and disbursed to the relevant authorities by May 23rd, with funds transferred to their respective bank accounts. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission have launched emergency food airdrops to the areas of Nasir and Ulang in Upper Nile State. The spokesperson of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has announced that the Parliament will officially resume its session on June 9 following a prolonged delay. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. The Ministry of Finance and Planning has said that all salaries for government employees were processed and disbursed to the relevant authorities by May 23, 2025, with funds transferred to their respective bank accounts. In a statement posted on its official Facebook page, the ministry said the salaries will cover civil servants, the armed and regular forces, as well as foreign diplomatic missions. It reaffirmed its commitment to adhering to presidential directives which mandate the disbursement of public sector salaries by the 24th of each month. The ministry stressed on the importance of timely payment as to improve financial discipline and ensure timely payment of government employees. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission have launched emergency food airdrops to the areas of Nasir and Ulang in Upper Nile State. In a statement dated May 24th, the two humanitarian institutions said the intervention over the weekend was a direct response to a directive from the President aimed to provide urgent assistance to communities affected by recent conflict and displacement. In a Saturday statement, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Cole Attack, said these airdrops were crucial for areas that are difficult to access by road, especially with the decline in international humanitarian funding. In addition to food, the ministry plans to provide shelter, medical care, and other essential services to internally displaced persons in those areas. Reports from UN agencies indicate that over 130,000 people have been displaced in Nasir and Ulang counties. On Thursday last week, the United Nations Central Emergency Response Fund announced that it allocated $10 million to support life-saving humanitarian assistance for more than 270,000 people in South Sudan's Upper Nile region. The funding, according to the United Nations Office of Humanitarian Affairs, would target communities in 6 high-risk counties, including Pigi, Fangak, Ayot, and Akobo in Jonglei State, and Panyikang and Fashoda in Upper Nile State. In a statement to iRadio Newsroom, OCHA said these areas have been severely affected by overlapping crises, leaving families in critical need of immediate humanitarian support. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Nasir County has dismissed claims that the government's emergency food distribution program supplies contaminated food to communities in those areas. James Gadwech Jock reassured citizens that all food undergoes strict safety checks and urged the public to rely on verified information. According to Gadwich, the food supplies have recently faced rumors claiming that the distributed food is contaminated. Commissioner Gadwich advised the locals not to rely on unverified information and urged the public to avoid spreading unconfirmed rumors that could cause unnecessary panic. In his statement, he encouraged community members to trust the food distribution process and to report any genuine concerns directly to his office or local health authorities. The spokesperson of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has announced that the Parliament will officially resume its sessions on June 9 following a prolonged delay. Speaking on the South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation, spokesperson Oliver Mori called on all honorable members to report to Parliament on the scheduled day to attend the opening session. Mori stated, and I quote, "After the long recess of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly, which lasted almost 5 months, a decision has finally been reached for Parliament to resume on Monday, 9th of June 2025. All honorable members are requested to report to the Parliament to attend the opening session," end quote. The resumption will involve both chambers of the National Legislature, the Council of States, and the Transitional National Legislative Assembly, marking the formal reopening of legislative business in the country. The June session is expected to address a range of critical national issues, including pending legislation and oversight responsibilities, as well as the country continues its transition process. This is iRadio Morning News. And now to the international news. Joseph Kabila, the ex-president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, has lashed out at the government of his successor, calling it a dictatorship. The 53-year-old made a 45-minute speech live on YouTube on Friday evening from an unspecified location a day after the Senate lifted his immunity for prosecution. DR Congo's authorities intend to charge the former president with treason and war crimes, linking him to the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels who have taken control of several towns in the east. Kabila, in power between 2001 and 2019, said he had broken his silence because he felt the unity of the country was at risk. Finally, U.S. President Donald Trump has said he is not happy with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, following Moscow's largest aerial attack yet on Ukraine. At least 12 people were killed and dozens injured in Ukraine overnight Sunday after Russia fired 367 drones and missiles, the highest number in a single night since Putin launched a full-scale invasion in 2022. In a rare rebuke, Trump said, "What the hell happened to him? He is killing a lot of people." Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky earlier said Washington's silence over recent Russian attacks was encouraging Putin, urging strong pressure, including tougher sanctions on Moscow. That's iRadio Morning News. And to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. The Ministry of Finance and Planning has said that all salaries for government employees were processed and disbursed to the relevant authorities by May 23, 2025, with funds transferred to their respective bank accounts. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission have launched emergency food airdrops to the areas of Nasir and Ulang in Upper Nile State. And the spokesperson of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has announced that the Parliament will officially resume its sessions on June 9, 2025, following a prolonged delay. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock. I'm Nasuba Memo. Thank you for listening.